So we are going to go ahead and get started. Again, for those of you who just joined the call, my name is Ms. Sophia Francis. I am the Administrative Director here at Cortellia Early Childhood Centers. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so excited to see so many of you here. And if we're not seeing you, we know that you're there. I see a lot of names. I know we're all excited about the upcoming school year, that some of you haven't been out in a while. Some of you are currently enrolled in the summer to get a good jump start on transitioning and acclimating your child to the new year. So we're just excited to get back at it, and that the fall is around the corner and the new school year we can see it within weeks. So again, welcome. Some of our administrative team is on the call this evening, so they'll be able to share some different information with you as well. So as we get started, I just want to tell you a little bit of our housekeeping rules, just so we can have a smooth and efficient meeting for everyone. We would like everyone to mute their microphones on their device. Feel free to turn your webcam on or off, it's optional. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat, and we'll try to answer some throughout the program, as well as we'll have a question and answer session at the very end of the presentation, just to circle back and to make sure that everyone's questions are addressed. So everyone knows what we're going to be doing when school opens on Wednesday, September 8th. Wednesday, September 8th, the new academic year begins. So again, welcome. As you know, Cortellia Early Childhood Centers, we have 3 locations. And within our 3 locations, we have the main location, which is here on Cortellia Road. And we have our Academy location, which is on Bedford Avenue. And we also have our Annex location. For our nursery and toddlers programming for our preschoolers that are private pay, they are located on our main campus on Cortellia Road and at our Bedford Avenue. So our administrative team that you'll become very familiar with across all of the buildings. We have our founder, Leonie Francis Bryan. We have our administrative director, who is myself, Miss Sophia. Educational directors, we have Lucretia Johnson at the Academy location on Bedford Avenue. And Miss Charles is our educational director at the main location, which is on Cortellia Road. We also have office administration at the Academy, Annex, as well as at the main, Miss Christian and Miss Sandiford. And lastly, we have our accounts team, and that's Mr. Francis and Mr. Nicholas. And we are always all accessible via email. And if you call our main numbers, which is always on the shirt, the 282 number 6077, that comprises our administrative team. So our agenda for tonight will go a little bit like this. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a snapshot of Cortellia Early Childhood Centers and our learning environment here at Cortellia. We're going to go over some health and safety protocols, partnership with families. How does that look at Cortellia? The daily schedule, the monthly themes that we're forecasting for this academic year, CECC's policies and procedures, the school calendar for this year, and school supplies, as well as review of the tuition and fees, and just how to keep your contact information current and keeping everything current on your file here at Cortellia. So I'm going to start our meeting off, and then as the other directors and staff begin their presentation, they'll just let you know who they are. Again, we're going to be concise. We don't want to penalize you for, talking to us on a Tuesday night, but we do want to give you some information so you can be prepared. So just a brief history about us. We were founded in April 1983 by our founder, Leonie Francis Bryan. That was about 39 years ago. Our mission here at Cortellia is to provide an excellent education, meeting each of our students' interests, abilities, and needs, and promoting an appreciation for racial, religious, and cultural differences. We do have experienced and qualified early childhood teachers, and a structured environment, child-friendly, and welcoming environment. Shared expectations for our school and our parents, as well as learning extending beyond the classroom experiences. We do have some out-of-school experiences, because we believe learning doesn't only happen in the classroom, but out of the classroom as well, and you are your child's first teacher. So a safe and healthy learning environment supporting your child's development. So we provide a secure and clean facility, cots, toys, chairs, tables, all the commonly touched items, safe and child-friendly materials. Very important, and I'm emphasizing clean, and currently we're constantly sanitizing due to the times that we're living in due to the pandemic. Appropriate child supervision at all times. As far as, we assist them, especially at this age, 2s and 3s, to the bathroom. They still need some assistance, pull-ups, wiping, things of that nature. But your child is never alone at any given time. Full day instruction focused on developing their cognitive development, gross and fine motor development, as well as social and emotional skills. And we realized during this pandemic and when we were locked up for quite some time, how social interaction is so important for the development for anyone, people, much less children. Support and encouragement to learn and try new things, active exploration and exploratory play, following routines, solving problems, and the use of new vocabulary. Group exercises, independent experiences, as well as physical activities. We definitely want to get your little one moving, exploring, and trying new things. All teachers and program administrators have the appropriate, obviously, qualifications and the mandatory trainings and security and clearances that are needed to work in a child care center, according to the Department of Health regulations, as well as DOE. Partnership with families, that's the key element here as well. We cannot do this alone. We are a village, and everyone plays their part of the village. We need mom, dad, we need all of our grandparents, aunts, uncles. I saw aunties pick up children here today. We're all a part of the village. So when we're partnering with you, we're not partnering only with your little one, your child, we're partnering with the family. So it's important that if you have any questions or concerns or even suggestions, because parents usually give us a great wealth of knowledge sometimes, feel free to share that information with us. We're always willing to hear, and we're always willing to try new things. One thing, when you've been in business for 40 years, we're always evolving and hiring new staff with different skill sets. But because we've been here a while, sometimes you could get a little bit like, oh, we do this a particular way. But we're always trying to innovate and try things differently. So we always take ideas from parents. If there's something or they came from another state and they have a different idea, please share with us. We're always welcoming and open to new ideas. So we're partnering with you. We're providing a warm and welcoming environment that respects your family's language and culture. We have a diverse staff across the 3 buildings. We speak, I think, about 8 different languages across the different buildings. We want to plan with you for your child's transition into and out of our preschool program. So as many of you know, we also have an elementary school program. So we work with you with the 2s and 3s as they go over into our preschool program to pre-kindergarten. And then from pre-kindergarten, if they go to outside kindergarten, we help you make that transition as well. Or if you're testing them into gifted and talented, or if you're continuing into a private elementary or our elementary, we help you with that transition as well. And then after our students finish elementary, we then also help you get into a gifted and talented, or I would say a well-renowned, for the most part, a good middle school that will meet the needs of your child. So we definitely help you and provide guidance and assistance along your child's educational journey. Communicate with you regularly and share important information about your child's learning progress or program policies and upcoming activities. As you know, and as you see, we send a lot of emails. Once the school year comes about, we'll also send different messaging through the message apps, just so that you're always aware. We know as moms ourselves, sometimes you can be pretty busy. And as dads, so we want to just, remember, it's Valentine's week and we're bringing in cupcakes and we're doing this just because, we're part of the village, and we want to make sure that everyone remembers they're part of the puzzle. So we try to keep you abreast on everything that's going on at school with newsletters and things of that nature. Join with you in making decisions about your child's learning experiences. like we discussed, as well as even if your child requires like additional services as far as maybe speech, or you may realize that your child may need glasses or anything of that nature. We're in this together, and that's how that's how we work. We want to work with the family. My children came to Cortellu, and it was through the third grade teacher that I realized that my daughter needed glasses, you know? So it's just, paying attention and seeing who can see the board, seeing who has a lisp and things of that nature, because we do spend an extensive amount of time with your child for the duration of any given day. They spend about 8 hours. When you're at work, they're at work with us. So we just want to let you know that we do believe in the village philosophy, and we're working with your family for the betterment of your child. We also will provide activities and opportunities to extend your child's learning outside of the classroom, like we said before. And as we get to the older grades, and you're not there yet, you're just 2s and 3s, but we do have some trips where we will go off campus, local trips. We have bigger trips when they get to the older grades, where they'll go like to Broadway and see shows and things of that nature. And then we have some really spectacular trips when we go to, we went to Lima and Cusco, Peru, and we went to San Jose, Costa Rica. I mean, we do a lot of different type of programming, and as long as you're here at Cortellu, you're always welcome to join in on some of that fun. So before the next director shares a little bit more information about safety protocols and such, I just wanted to again welcome everyone to come into Cortellu Early Childhood Centers. You have a bright year ahead of you for your little one. I know a lot of kids were home during the pandemic and you were doing it on your own, but we're glad to let you know that we're here to support and to, take over the reins as far as their education in the classroom setting. But as we're thinking about the times that we're living in, I was talking with my staff and we were talking about, it is a pandemic. There are vaccines, there's face coverings, booster shots, homelessness, eviction moratoriums, house poor, relocation, side hustles, career changes, remote workforce, unemployed, the reduced workforce, stimuluses, child tax credits, PP loans, EIDL loans. There was just so much these last, 15 to 18 months that we've experienced as a nation and globally across our world. And we are just currently living in different times. So I'm just asking that the families of Cortellu, as well as my staff, as I talk to everyone, we're going to continue to try our very best to provide the quality childcare service during these challenging times. And we are asking for the support of our school community during these challenging times. And our parents have been amazing, because as you know, we've been open since September of 2020. And it was challenging, but we actually made it through. We persevered, we pushed through, and we've been open with little to very little closure. And that was by the honesty and the community efforts and just parents just being all in. And, I know that I'm traveling and I'm going to go see grandparents. So we're not going to be here for 2 weeks and then we're going to quarantine. I mean, everyone did their part to keep the school community safe. So we just want to say thank you. And we want to let the new parents coming into Cortellu to know that the type of parents and staff that we have, because even the teachers have made sacrifices, the ones that are here and have returned to work. Because I don't know if you noticed with the world at large right now, but everyone is hiring. And it has been challenging for all industries to retain workers to come back into the workplace, that other workers and career-minded people can go back out into their work. So we're just asking that you just be supportive to the staff that's here working with your children. They're going to talk to you. They're going to communicate you. They're going to love on your little one, because that's what we're here about. We love kids and we're educators. So we just want you, again, to work with us as we continue to work with you. And we're looking for a fabulous academic year. I can just see it, and we're looking forward to it. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. And next, you'll hear from Mrs. Lucretia Johnson.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Like Miss Francis said, I am extremely happy that you have decided to join us. And so as a school, one of the things we want to make sure is safety is the most important thing. So we want to go through some safety protocols that we started last September and it worked. So we are going to make sure that it's implemented for this academic school year 2021. Now, I am Lucretia Johnson, and I am the educational director for the Bedford location or the academy. And that goes from 2 years old all the way to 5th grade. And so let's go through the safety protocols. And so first of all, our classroom capacity will be about 12 to 15 students. Now, I just want to give you a little bit. This will be specifically for the main building. And it's for the main building because according to the Department of Health, it goes according to the size of the classroom. Now at Bedford location, we have 1, 2, and 3 room, and that capacity will be about 18 because of the room size. Next, in the mornings when your child comes to school, we have what's called a morning health check. And that morning health check is normally done. We do have we have an iPad, and you have a 4-digit code, and you sign in your child. When you're signing in your child, there will be some health questions that you're going to be asked. Health questions such as, does your child have a fever? How was your child feeling the night before? Was there any person in your home who was tested positive for COVID? Did you go out of the country? Did you go to somewhere with someone who was tested positive? So you go through about, I think it's like 5 to 6 questions. And then you come to the part where you sign your child in. After signing your child in, when your child goes to the classroom daily, we do what's called a random health check throughout the day. As your child comes in the classroom, we want to check to make sure your child is well, the child doesn't have any fever, your child doesn't look lethargic, the child doesn't look tired, or the child doesn't have any kind of ailment. So we make sure that we're checking constantly with your child, and this is not done only in the day or when your child comes in, it is done throughout the day. Next, we want families. We encourage you to keep your child at home if your child is sick. Normally, if a child is sick, because we go through COVID, we have what's called an isolated area where we will place that child. In that isolated area, of course, your child will not be alone, but of course, your child will be with an adult, which will most obviously be a teacher. And then we will call you to pick up your child as soon as possible. Next, we wear masks. This is now becoming a part of our lifestyle. So mask will be mandatory for all teachers as well as children. Children who are 2 and above, mask will be, we also have masks available. And so we know that some of you are home and your children might not have been going anywhere, but we want you to encourage them. Make this a fun activity where you are helping your child to wear a mask. Now, during the day, your child will also have mask breaks throughout the day. So we're not going to allow them to have a mask for the entire day. So during the snack time, during lunchtime, during outdoor time, so your child will have those breaks. And if we see your child looking a little bit, some children look, especially if they're having a cold, we're going to make sure that your child get those breaks that he or she needs. We also have frequent sanitization, and that will be of the toys, of the highly touched areas. We're going to frequently sanitize those areas. And hand washing will be done during transition, when your child comes in the morning, during bathroom breaks, when the child goes outside, the child comes back inside. We are going to do constant hand washing. And of course, we have what's called increased sanitization and cleaning protocols throughout the day. And again, these are highly touched areas that will be cleaned, as well as the child's toys. Those are going to be cleaned on a daily basis. And then all our programs will resume at 5:45 p.m. Now, last year, we completed at 5:30. And again, this was because of the cleaning protocols that we had in place. We had a thorough cleaning. So we had stopped school. In fact, school was finished at 5:30. This year, we go back to 5:45. And of course, we give you a grace period of 15 minutes. Again, we're encouraging you to pick up your child on time. We do want to practice safety. Safety is the most important thing. And so in order for us to have this clean environment that your child can return the following day, we are encouraging you to pick them up on time so that our custodians can do their job. Next slide, Sophia, Miss Sophia. Next, we have our hours of operation. Now, our building opens at 7. And we have breakfast from 7:30 to 8:30. So we're encouraging families, if you would like your child to be a part of the breakfast or to have breakfast, the breakfast time will be from 7:30 to 8:30. After that, we have devotion. And I know families are asking, what is that? So as a school, we do not indoctrinate your child. We don't say, well, this is a specific religion, but we just do sing praises. We just sing songs unto the Lord. And of course, as a organization, you let us know as well your preferences, because some families may be of other religious affiliations and may not want to, but you can bring it to our attention. So we will give you the next step of what you need to do. But as for our school, these are some of the things that we do. Next, our class begins at 9 a.m. We want to stress parents, 9 a.m. So all students should arrive at school by this time. We do have routine, and young children strive on routine. So we're asking you to ensure that you bring your child. The latest is at 9 o'clock, because we do have our meeting time, our time when we talk about days of the week and all of that from 9. So we want to make sure that they transition by then. They would have used the bathroom. They would have done all of that. So make sure that they're there by 9. If for any reason your child will come after 8:30, then we will ask you to make sure that your child have breakfast, because we don't want to interrupt the flow or the structure of what's going on. And then lunch, of course, our lunch period will be from 11:30 to 12:30. And then nap time is from 1 to 3. After nap, when your child is up, we have snack, and your snack time is from 3 to 3:30. Now we have this free play. And during free play from 3:30 to 4 o'clock, we have circle time where we do Spanish. So in the afternoons, we do a foreign language. And again, that is done through music. We are teaching our children a second language, and that language is Spanish. And then after that, after we finish having our Spanish time and free play time, the next thing we do, we're preparing for dismissal, and that will be from anywhere from 5 to 5:45. I just want to bring quickly to some parents' attention, especially during the winter time. We do know parents do call us to make sure children are ready, because we know we have situations with parking. We want to encourage you, if you're calling us, please do not call us. Some parents are calling us 5 minutes before you get there. And as soon as they get there, they just expect their children to be ready. Remember, these are young children, and we have to put on their coats and their hats and their jackets. So if you would like to come for your child a specific time, or you're going to encounter situations with parking, then we want to make sure that you're doing it at least 15 minutes before, so we can let the teacher know to start getting that child ready. Now, every month as a school, we have themes. So for September, we start with me, because it's important to the child to know about yourself, and then we go to the family. After touching the family, in October, we do community helpers. And this is now you branch off from family self and you go to the community, and we also discuss fall. In November, we talk about transportation and safety, of course. And then in December, we have cultural holidays. We observe different cultural holidays as a family. We embrace everybody's culture. So we talk about Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and Christmas and Diwali. So these are some things that we want to expose our children to, since we are living in such a diverse community and a diverse state. Then in December, in January, we talk about famous artists. And so for a couple years ago, we started looking at some famous artists such as Picasso. We looked at Van Gogh, and you should see the amount of work and how the children really enjoy that. And then in February, we look at Black History Month and musical instrument. In March, prehistoric animals. April, rainforest. May, we look at nature detective, and that's all with planting and understanding why bugs are so important. So we do all of that in the month of May. And in June, we look at farm and zoo animals, and we are able to help children to differentiate between what's a farm animal, what's a zoo animal. We look at their habitats and et cetera. And then in June and August, we are preparing for summer. And so we have our summer activities in the month of July and August. So that's it in a nutshell, would be for our themes. A little more when we have curriculum night, you will learn a little more about the themes. What are your expectations as a family, and what we will do as a school as well. After all, as Ms. Francis said, it takes a village. So we want to make sure that we're doing our best. Next slide, please. Now, after that, we do have something called screening. Now, this screening, all students who turn 3 years old, we will use what's called an authentic screening tool. And this ESIR, it's called an early screening inventory preschool for ages 3 through 4.5. And so this will allow your teachers to see how your child is developing, and so we'll be able to guide our curriculum and instruction as well. And so it also will give us a picture of how your child is growing and learning based on the expected growth for your children at that age. And so this instrument addresses the developmental and sensory and behavioral concerns in the following area. So we look at visual motor, we look at language and cognition, we look at gross motor skills. So again, you will learn a little more about this when we have our curriculum night, and this will be done with our family coordinator. So look out for that. That will be during that time. Next slide. And so as a school, we encourage you to ensure that your child attend regularly. And we would like you to tell us in advance when your child will be absent. If your child is sick as well, we would like you to notify us. So if you're going away, we want you to notify us. We need to know what's happening with your child. And we want you to observe some important procedures. We would like you to arrange for a responsible adult to drop off and pick up your child on time each day. And so if you are sending someone that we are not aware of, we'll ask you to ensure that that person bring a photo ID so that we can have that on file. So please make sure that you send that person. The other part we want to let you know too is that 4-digit code. Whatever is that 4-digit code, we will not tell that person the code. If the person's going to check out the child, you will have to tell the person that code when the child is going to check out the child. So please be aware of that. Make sure that you are informing them. They must bring a picture ID, and they must be able to know the child's 4-digit code as well. And participate in ongoing communication with us to support your child's learning and development. And that includes attending our virtual or in-person meetings, such as PTC, Parent Teachers Conference. Any concern or the teacher would like to speak with you, we would like you to be in close contact with your child's teacher. Now, we use an app called the Class Dojo. That's a great way for you to communicate with your child's teacher, find out how your child's day was. If there are any concerns or there's anything, the teacher will also use that app to ensure that they're communicating with you. And then based on the themes, we have what's called family engagement activities. So we would like you to participate in these hands-on activities. And this will help you to understand what is going on in the classroom, because this will extend your child's learning outside of the classroom. So once again, it is important, parents, that you participate in those hands-on activities. So each month you will have we call a family engagement. We're asking you to work with your child when you're doing these hands-on activity. Make it a family occasion where you're sitting with them and you're understanding, and they tell you what they're learning and what they're doing in the classroom. If there are any changes in your family, please let us know, because we do know that children's behavior change when situations are occurring in the family. So please identify. We don't need to know the entire detail, but just say to us, there's been some situations in our family, and so my child, you may see a little changes in my child's behavior. Definitely as a school, if we see changes in your child behavior or any learning needs in your child, we will definitely bring it to your attention. And if you believe that your child may have a disability or some developmental delays, and as a parent, we always say, mothers especially, you have a gut feeling and you know something is not right, please speak to us as well. And if we see anything, definitely we will get back to you. And we'll try to support you and help you to get those intervention and those services, and to meet the right people to help your child to get to where he or she needs to get. And this part here, provide required enrollment documents and any other important information. We would like to learn about your child's needs. So if we ask you to supply those, please let us know. And that's the only way we can work with you and work better with your child. Next slide. And our CECC policy. Of course, I spoke about it earlier. We need you to sign in and sign out, and that's done daily. And if someone new, as I did mention, is picking up your child, let us know. And we do have a uniform policy. So Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, we do have uniform. So your child will be wearing, I'm sure when you did your tours, you would have seen what the boys and the girls are going to be wearing. So on those days, they'll wear their uniform. On Wednesdays, I was looking for a shirt and I didn't have any. We have what's called a green CECC shirt. If we have one to show the parent, I thought I had one next to me, but I don't. Oh, the uniform, this is the shirt. Miss Sophie is showing you the shirt. So that shirt, every Wednesday, we call it Spirit Days on Wednesdays, our school spirit. So wear those on Wednesdays. So we would like an any bottom. So your child can wear this t-shirt. This is a t-shirt Miss Sophie is showing to you, and any bottom, and that's on Wednesday. And then Fridays now, your child is allowed to dress down. Dress down just simply means you don't wear school uniform, you don't wear curtail, and this is, oh, Miss Sophie is showing you the uniforms as well. So you see, oh, one thing I forgot to mention on the uniforms, this is the logo. So you have a the logo on it, and we are the ones who are selling it. So when you come to the office, please make sure that you ask for that to put. It's like a patch to put on the child's uniform or on the child's sweater. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're showcasing our school. Somebody said they weren't seeing it, but we'll put it up so you'll get a chance to see. Next, we would like all our students, every child, to wear shoes that have Velcro, no laces, they're 2 and 3s, they can't tie laces. And with everything that is happening to us, we want to make sure that we're staying healthy, we're staying safe, and that goes for our teachers as well. Please ensure you're wearing Velcro shoes. During the time when your child has to practice lacing, of course, we have those manipulatives that they can practice while they're in the classroom. Other than that, please make sure you have Velcro shoes, and that's required. And label all your child belongings. We've seen children have the same coat, the same hat, especially if you shop at Gap. All children might have the same Gap coat. So please make sure you might have the same Gap hat, the same jacket. So just make sure. Oh, somebody's asking for the color shoes. We would prefer black. So once again, we're asking you to label. Make sure that you label all their belongings, and that includes even their pull-ups, clothes. All those belongings need to have a label. When we say label, we mean to write your child's name. And please don't put, you might put, this might be a common name. Let's say you might just say Karen, and the class might for some reason have 2 or 3 Karens or Simone. So we're asking you to put your child's first and their last name, so we know exactly what, who this, the pull-ups or the clothes belongs to. So make sure that you're doing that. And birthday parties. So we have, last year we weren't able to because of COVID, of course, but we had some parents still bringing in little things for the children. So we have materials and gifts must be brought on site. Outside, anyone from outside are prohibited. Again, we're trying safety protocols. And so we are asking that we cannot have big, large birthday parties and having mommy and daddy and grandpa. We would love to, but we want to safeguard our school environment. So we would ask you to bring those materials, of course. And please ensure that you communicate with the building administrator. Let us know. We would like more, obviously, like 2 weeks before, so we can know, because what happens is we have a lot of birthdays. Some children may celebrate, sometimes in a class, you may have children who are celebrating in the month of January. You might have 5, 6 children. And so we will have to know how to help you and what we need to say to you in terms of those birthdays. And most times we know we always have that mostly on Fridays. Now, emergency contact. With the times that we're living in, we would like you to ensure that you have an emergency contact on those cards. We do have some blue cards. It might be different colors, but we need you to make sure that that person, in case of anything with the world that we're living in case of anything, the person must have the ability to arrive at the school within 30 to 60 minutes for pickup if there's an emergency. So once again, you want to think about that person or individuals that you would like to be your emergency contact. And as a school, we are licensed under the Department of Health, and they have different articles. And this is what's called Article 47. And in that article, all it says is a list of things that a daycare can do and a list of things that a daycare are not allowed to do in that Article 47. So our staff, as a staff, we are not authorized to give your child medication. Some parents bring, oh, they may have a cold, they may have a this, they may have a that. We are not authorized to give them that. So we're just saying this to you. We cannot give your child cold medicine. We're not allowed to as a school. And most importantly, parents, our annual physical examination must be submitted. Now, before your child starts school, please ensure that you have a physical, an annual physical. I am sure you would have received that with your package when you had the application. So it's important that your child has a physical. Now, the physical is different from the immunization. Immunization just shows your shots, the shots that the child received. But the annual physical, saying the child is physically fit to attend, that has to be done every year. So please, again, the children who are coming in should have that physical ready. And then immunization, of course, you having the appropriate shots. I just want to encourage families. Sometimes we go to the doctor and there's a part on the physical that has things such as blood level. And then there's such a lead risk. Now, it is important, and I know the doctors do it, but as administrators, we are trained to ensure that parents do that as well, because we too read your immunization. We're reading when you bring in your annual physical, we're going through it to make sure your child has the appropriate shots. they have the MMR, you have the varicella, you have the PCV. So all these different things we have to look, and at a specific age, your child needs to have a certain amount. So we're encouraging you to make sure that the blood level, I noticed that doctors just put the date. Please let the doctor put the results as well. So not only dates that they did it, but you need to get the results. And the other part on the physical would be the lead risk. Lead risk, they put the date, and again, it needs to say at risk or not at risk. So they need to ensure that that's filled out as well. So as parents, we're a family. So you are learning when you go to the doctor as well, that you check those physicals to ensure that you have all of those requirements or information on, or the information is properly filled out on your child's physical. And the last thing we didn't want to do, we have to say to parents, flu shots are required, and it's required by November 1st. All students 2 years to 4.5 need to have a flu shot. It is required by the Department of Health, the DOH. This is not us. If for us, maybe we wouldn't want it, but we have to go with the requirements. Now, if Department of Health comes in and your child does not have this flu shot, then we are going to be in violation. And the violation means that we go to court. And I'm sure none of us want to go to court. And it means we have to pay a fine as a school. So we're asking you to comply, to help us. So when they come in, we're not going to have these bills, because when we go to court, the bills are 100 to 2 to sometimes as much as, depending on the amount of children that without the flu shot. So please, again, it is required. It's no longer because of religious reasons, because they're saying if your child can get all the other immunizations, why not the flu shot? So there's no exemption with flu shot unless medically your child cannot take it. And then we have to have something from the doctor stating that your child medically would not be able to take it. And that's medically. So we have to have that on file. Other than that, all students are required to have the flu shot. And this is very important. So if your child by any chance have any of these symptoms, flu, your child is coughing, ringworm, diarrhea, hand, foot, and mouth, any communicable disease, please keep your child at home. But as you know, communicable disease spreads, so we do not. We're asking you to ensure that your child remain at home. Pink eye, strep throat, gastroenteritis, ear infection, which it's really affects them and they cry all the time. So we're asking you to keep them at home. Runny nose, especially now with a mask and runny nose. So we're asking you to make sure that you keep your child at home. And if your child is out for 3 consecutive days, your child is out and you said, oh, my child is sick for 3 consecutive days, please submit a doctor's note stating that your child is eligible to return to school. So as a school, once again, I just want to encourage you to work with us so we can make our school community a safe place for your child to learn. Thank you so much. And over now to Ms. Charles.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome again to our virtual meeting for our 2021-22 academic school year. So at the beginning, actually also on our website, you will find our yearly calendar. And I'm just going to go through just a few of the most important dates, but you can also have this access on our website. And we also usually send it home to with our parents at the beginning of the school year. So our first day of school for our 2s and 3s is on September 8th. That's our first day of school. Curriculum night, which is possibly tentative, will be our September 15th. And that day you'll be able to meet with your child's teacher and they go over a little bit more in depth of what is expected of them in the classroom and what is expected of the parents and so forth, and the things that they will be doing in the classroom on that specific day. We have holiday pictures. Now, holiday pictures, it's usually taken in October. And if for some reason that you will get to see the backdrop that is being used. We always try to get one that's very holiday, holiday-ish. And then we have one that's probably a generic one, which is a fall background. And usually those are for our families who may not believe in, Christmas and so forth. So we will have that generic background for everyone else. So it's usually a fall setting. And just to let our parents know, when the kids come in for pictures, you do not have to pay ahead of time. You basically have to wait till you get the proofs. And then if you choose to have any of the pictures, then you fill out the form and they will tell you what the packages cost and so forth. So no money is due prior to them taking the picture. And let's see, November 11th, we are actually closed. And our parent teachers conference, which will be virtual. Then we have our Thanksgiving luncheon, which is usually on the Monday of Thanksgiving week. Now, Thanksgiving luncheon is more, we ask our families to contribute something to the class. So if we may find out that mom is really great at cooking, making, nice cakes or whatever, we may ask one of our parents to do it. And we just bring in different dishes and to celebrate with our little ones on that Monday of November. And of course, then we are closed for the Thanksgiving recess, which is a Thursday, Friday. And here, very importantly, the December 24th to the January 2nd, we will have a winter recess. On Christmas Eve, we will dismiss at 12 o'clock. So basically we'll have the dismissal that Friday. And as we go through everything else, you can see our other closures. And when we have our second parent teachers conference, which is in March, and then we have our spring pictures. Now the spring pictures are usually the ones that we do in our school uniform. So that picture day we are able to have like a group picture taken with all the kids and so forth and the teacher. And then moving on, we have our Good Friday, Memorial Day, Family Fun Day. Hopefully we'll be able to get that done this year. Because of COVID last year, we weren't able to do that. So usually on Family Fun Day, we go to a park the last time we went to Cunningham Park, which is in Queens. And we are barbecuing, we are doing things on the grill, and we have sport activities for the students and the parents. So it's usually a very fun, relaxing day. And usually on those days, our sites are actually closed. So even if you cannot go, there is no service on that day at our buildings because everyone is actually out in the field on that day. And of course, on our last day of school, which would be June 30th of 2022. Okay, next. And next thing we have is our supply list. So again, you should have received this or you will receive it shortly. And it has a listing of all the things that your child will need for their stay for their school year at Cortellu. And those parents of the 3-year-olds, please note at the bottom, there are additional supplies in addition to what's above for our toddlers or 3-year-olds. And again, it's very important, label, label, label. Make sure everything is labeled. And again, just to reiterate that all students must wear Velcro shoes. Next slide, please. And this is our tentative event. Hopefully, with all the different changes that's going on with CDC guidelines and so forth, but we are hoping that we are able to pull this off. It's basically like a little meet and greet at Prospect Park. It's a Saturday, and it's a very relaxing time where you can come out and meet with the directors and other CEC families, because sometimes parents, they don't know the other parents in the classroom, but they may hear their kids talking about other children. So you just try to get them at the beginning, if we can get all our families together, just to meet and greet and just chit chat, and get to, form that bond and so forth with other families in the school and across our buildings also. So, but information on that will be forthcoming. Again, as you know, that CDC guidelines they're changing from day to day. So we're just going to pay attention to what's going on. And if it's feasible for us to do it, then we will try our best to pull that off, and further information will be given to you as the time gets a little closer. Okay, okay, then we will shoot it over to Mr. Nick and Mr. Francis in our accounting department.
Okay, hello, good evening, everybody. I'm Mr. Nicholas, and Mr. Francis, you'll be seeing him in a few slides. We're just going to go over some general information. You may already be aware of it, being that some of you are our current parents, but just some general information. So you have some tuition and fees related to your program. So you have the $200 annual registration fee, which is non-refundable. Some key things I want to mention: submission of the application package and payment of the registration fee are the only things that secure your slot. So that's the main thing that you have to consider. Most families here are already registered, so you're all good. The monthly tuition is $1,100 per month. It's generally due by the 5th of each month, pending where the 5th lands. But the accounts department, when we send out monthly invoices, will specifically denote when the tuition is due by. Otherwise, there will be late payment fees that are charged for payments that are made past the due date. It's $50. So pay on time and you'll avoid that fee. We all want to avoid that fee. So depending on the family's eligibility as it relates to meals under the New York State program, CACFP, the family could qualify as either paid, reduced, or free. And the charges that you see there, the $150 and $75, are monthly fees. So if you want to avoid those fees, generally the forms have to be filled out in a certain way that it depends on household members and monthly gross income amounts. So just keep that into consideration. And these costs cover breakfast, lunch, and snack every day of the week. So last couple things just to note, you have some late pickup fees for children that are picked up past the grace period for this upcoming school year. So again, that was 5:45 with 15 minutes grace. After 6 o'clock, you start incurring those late pickup fees if the child isn't picked up by our site at that time. We have staff that have to be on site. The teachers, most of them will be gone by that time. So that's a deterrent. That's the main deterrent that we try to use for parents to try to pick their children up on time. And depending on the kinds of payments that you make, if you make a payment by check, there may be instances where the checks bounce. We just want to let you know that there are bounce payment fees associated with that. Last time I checked, I believe it may have been 30, but it may have increased to 50 as well. So it's another reason to try to make sure your tuition's paid on time and with an account that is funded or a credit card that has available credit on it. And we also accept debit. If you have any other questions regarding tuition and fees, you can always reach out to the accounts department, and our emails are going to be shown soon. Something else that we wanted to keep in mind for all of our parents here: keeping information current is important for everybody, especially our staff, our teachers, and our administrators. So things such as contact information, emergency contacts, physical examinations, allergies, all these items that you see here, it's the parent's responsibility that these things are updated. For example, when you change phone numbers, when you change addresses, when you change emails, we're going to need to be in touch with you and your emergency contacts. And that brings us to the next one. We need to know if these emergency contact names and phone numbers are changing as well. We need to have these things updated so that our teachers will have access to the most updated information. Basically, what was stated before by Ms. Johnson, physical examinations, medical forms, immunization records, all of these things need to be updated. The physicals are due annually, and as well as the flu shots during the flu season as well. And we know that especially when children are young, allergies may not be known at a particular time, but if things do develop in your child, we would need to know that as well. Primarily, especially if they're allergic to food items, we need to know that so our kitchen and our teachers are prepared, just to try to prevent any allergic reactions, as well as any other medical conditions as well. Similar to the way that the physical examination forms work, the meal form under CACFP is also due yearly. It's another form that's just due yearly. It's not something that we want to impose. It's just something that is needed under the state. So that's another form that you need to fill out every year regardless. So, so just to go over some of your next steps, many of you have already done this already, but we just want to try to reiterate that. So save our phone numbers as a contact on your phone. We're just reminding you because our buildings do have different phone numbers. You may call one building and think that you're going to speak with somebody at the Bedford location, but you called the main building. So keep that in mind, depending on what building that your child's attending. You have that phone number saved on your phone. You can always reach it. Please add these two main email addresses to your safe senders list on your email, just in case, because we know that some families, they get emails from us that go into spam. So just keep that in mind. These are the two main accounts. We'll have some other email addresses that you may get some from, but these are the main items that we use for our communications. As many of you have seen in the previous emails, we had sent our Are You Ready webpage that is on our website, which is accessible via email as well. It'll have all the documents, all the information that you're going to need as we get closer to the start date, including the yearly calendars that we just went over today. Those are also going to be made available soon on the website. And just to keep in mind, the first day back to school is Wednesday, September 8th. So just keep that in mind. So without further ado, let me just pass it off to Mr. Francis, and he's going to be going over one of our last slides. Thank you so much.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is excited for September the 8th. I just wanted to share a few things before I jump in these two last things. As Mr. Nicholas says, in regards of those two emails, just keep those in mind. Info for general info, accounts. If you have some issue with your account, we pretty much, between me and Nick, we pretty much run a 24-hour account department. So, you know, we get emails sometime at 1 o'clock in the morning because you may come in 1 o'clock. You never know, we may answer it for you. So you can just send us an email, you know, if you need to, just to get that off your chest before you can head off to bed. Parent referral, you know, without the parents that the new parents that come and assist us in helping register new students, we give back to our parents because we feel like family referral is the best marketing tool and best marketing strategy that works. So if you want to find out some more about it, just contact the accounts department and we can share that information with you. Keeping it local. Life is set up a little different now. Everyone have to kind of work with each other within the community. So what we have on our website, you can go to our website, you click on it, say keep it local. So if you're a parent and you may do a side hustle that I hear Sophie was talking about earlier, once everything is community friendly, such as it may be, give you a couple of examples, maybe t-shirts, maybe flour, maybe someone does birthday parties for kids, or someone do makeup, those types of things. If you'd like to advertise within our on our website, which is called, you know, Keeping It Local. So we all can kind of spend some of the monetary money within a circle and keep it within the family. As they say, keep it local, live by and love. I'm just excited. You know, I don't know what to say. I'm just excited in regards of it's a new year, new things, new expectations. I'm just ready to go, you know, and try to get through here. So as moving right along, I'm going to pass it on to the executive director, Ms. Sophia Francis.
Thank you. So we have come to the end of basically all the information we wanted to share with you, but we still wanted to have an opportunity for parents to ask any additional questions. We tried our best during the duration of the presentation to answer some of the questions. I'm just gonna probably pinpoint some of them that were pretty important that we probably missed, but someone asked, and thank you for that. So some parents were saying, like, where do we go and get uniforms? So you can always come to us and we can give you a flyer to go down to Cookies or to go to Ideal. Basically, if you go to any of the uniform stores on Flatbush, Cookies or Ideal uniform Once you're buying uniforms, they give you a 10% discount. You give them our school's name, and they know already that you need the yellow shirt, the type of green plaid, the bow, the this. They know the whole spiel, and they'll give you 10% off. So if you have time, you can stop by, pick up like a piece of paper that says all of that. But if you're happen to be on Flatbush and you're walking around, feel free to walk in and say, I'm going to Cortell you. And they'll just say, step right in, we can help you out, and they'll still give you the discount. Another question that was asked was in regards to what happened if there is a corona outbreak. And that's true. I mean, we haven't had one in so long that, you know, we're almost thinking like it doesn't happen, but that is not the case. So when we were living during the pandemic and we opened up last September, there was a time where what was the thing? The governor, I think the governor and the mayor were going back and forth, and they were talking about, you know, if you live in this zone or if you live in this zip code. It was very confusing. And even though our schools are really, you know, in close proximity, every school has a different zip code. So it was like if you were in 11218, you're okay, but 11226, you're not. I think it was 11210, you weren't. It was just confusing. So some of our schools were open, some of them were closed, and I think it was only the one that was by Bedford. So hopefully we don't go back into a zone and zip code situation. But in that case, we did close for 2 weeks in the zoned area just because we were told we had to. And that was for our elementary students more so. So we were able to go online and do remote teaching to our grades K through 5, you know, 5 days a week. So that went seamlessly. But you, being the parents of 2 and 3-year-olds, it didn't work out that well, because 2 and 3-year-olds have short attention spans, and you know, you got to kind of be with them, interact with them, talk with them, make them laugh. And you know, it just wasn't coming through the same way that it does in the classroom. So for the most part, we didn't have to close our 2s and 3s because we weren't in the zone. There were different circumstances where sometimes a parent would come and say, you know, my mother got COVID. So it wasn't the parent, but it was the grandmother, and my child had went to the grandmother's house on the weekend and this and that. So it depends on the level of exposure. Sometimes we may just isolate the family, let the family test and figure it out, and then they have to report back. So we'll basically isolate that family from the class. However, if the family does end up testing and they're negative or positive, then we're going to go and if they were in class and it wasn't the weekend and things of that nature, then it's going to affect the classroom. So if more than one child in the classroom, if there's 2 children in the classroom that test for the coronavirus, then that situation, we are then going to have to shut down the classroom for at least a week to 10 days. The stipulations have been changing, and this information is very fluid. But when we first did it, it was 10 days. Then after the public school, you know, the regulations kind of changed, and they were like, okay, it's only like going to be 5 days, and it depends on when you first saw your first symptoms. And but the irony in all of that is that the children are always asymptomatic. It's never the kids necessarily showing any signs. Not all the time. It's usually their parent had it or someone else had it. So that information, and I put that in the chat, we'll let you know more in September. Because another question that was asked was like, are all the teachers vaccinated? And all of our teachers are not vaccinated this time. A good portion of them, I would probably say 50-50, but this is the thing. That was regulated as of last week, that all DOE and city contracted employees must be vaccinated. So now we have a lot of teachers who are going to get vaccinated. Then you have some other teachers, you know, so it's just constantly changing. And some classrooms are DOE contracted classrooms, and some classrooms are Department of Health classrooms. So as you can see from my face, it's a little bit confusing. And that's just the world in which we're living in right now. So as we get more information, we'll let you know. But for the teachers what we were doing last year, our last, you know, good COVID operating year, we were testing monthly. But now the new regulation is if you're not vaccinated, you're going to be testing weekly in DOE contracted classrooms. So we're still waiting for the Department of Health regulation as to what they're going to say it's going to be. But this information, like I said in my, I think it was slide number 8, I need everyone to be patient with us because we're all figuring it out. Because as we're moving forward, we're also getting other regulations from New York State Business Association, different thing. Well, not business association, but from the governor. And he's saying, we don't want people going into restaurants if they're not business. And as private business owners, you shouldn't let people in if they're not vaccinated. So I don't know if the next step, I'm going to be like, okay, I only can take care of vaccinated families, which, I think is unfair and all that. But this is the information is very fluid. We are uncertain. We are pushing through. We had a good year, and we're hoping to have, move forward and have another good one. But we're constantly going to be emailing you, and please don't get mad at us as the regulations continue to change, because we are not coming up with the policy. We are just the messenger, and we have to comply, because then we'll be out of compliance, and then we're going to have bigger problems. And like Miss Johnson was telling you in regards to going to court and all this stuff, and no one even wants to go. Even the judges don't want to go to court these days. Everyone wants to do things remotely. So we're just asking whatever the regulations are, let's have a conversation. If something's required, please just comply. Let's see what we can do. Or if it is a situation that you decide to opt out, we'll understand, and we'll meet you halfway, and we'll talk to you about it. But with the 2s and 3s, there's not that much of a remote option, just because they're just so young. When we do close for a week, if we do try to go on remote in the morning with them. We'll do like music and movement in the morning. We'll sing, we'll do their regular circle time for about a half an hour, and that's even stretching it. And then we'll go back and we'll do a story time with them from about 12:30 to 1, so we can get them to kind of taper down and get ready for nap. And hopefully you can take it from there at 1 o'clock and put them down to rest. But that's if we're closed for a week. And if we are closed for a week due to some inconvenience, and then again, I think it only happened one for a 2-year-old classroom this year, we wouldn't be able to give a refund, just because the teachers are still home, they're working. But if we do close for 2 weeks and things of that nature, we will give you some type of credit to your account, because obviously you're gonna have to look for other childcare, or you're gonna have to stay home, and there's gonna be money lost all around for everyone. So just bear with us as that information is constantly unfolding each day. And some other questions. I mean, the chat is there, but that was pretty much, I just wanted to make sure I talked again about the coronavirus and in regards to, Ms. Charles, was there anything else? And they were asking about cot sheets. And yes, crib sheets are fine. The ones that you would use in a crib will fit the cots that we have for our 2-year-old children. If you have another burning question, you can feel free to unmute yourself, because we're at the end of the presentation. You can ask it. If not, you can drop it in the chat if you're a little bit shy. And if there's no other questions, we'll see you, because some of you are still enrolled with us now. And we hope that you're having a good experience starting from July and August and getting really acclimated to the new school year. But September, again, we're excited, and we're looking forward to, coming in our uniforms and getting back to work. Okay, I was just checking if there was any other questions. Okay, there's not. Okay, so thank you so much again, everyone, for taking the time out of your Tuesday night to sit and learn more about Cortelu and what's in store for you for September. Again, one thing that Ms. Charles talked about was the possible meet and greet in Prospect Park. Like we told our families last year, like it's very important again to, I know we'd be getting more comfortable and stepping outside of our comfort zones. And, but we had a real bubble that we were working with. So we usually have a family fun day at the end of June. And what we're trying to do in September is we're trying to have a little meet and greet, just so parents can really get to meet other parents. So you can, kind of, work your parameters as to who your children's classmates are, who your friends are, and who you can kind of socialize with, because we just don't know what's to come. And, if you follow the news and the Delta variant, like we just don't know. So we just want to make sure that the new parents coming in, you have a friend, and, you can feel that sense of community, because it's kind of hard with the mask and the face, and you see people and you don't know them. But the good thing is that come September, the uniforms work. Like you'll see them in the top line, and you're like, I know you, and the kids will know each other. So they'll help do the introductions as well. Okay, so a copy of the slides are going to be made available for everyone who registered for the meeting, and we're going to send it out to other families as well. If you missed it or if you came in a little bit late, we can also send you the link as to where this presentation will be available on our private YouTube page. Okay, so thanks again for joining us tonight. And if you have any additional questions, always feel free to email us. Thank you. Good night, everyone.